Okay, so our last scenario is what if you're given 2 points on the line and nothing else to work with? And these take the most work, so therefore they're the most fun, right? I'll show you what it looks like. So here's an example. Write an equation of a line passing through the points 1, -4, and -5, -16. So picture it. On a graph, you have a point at 1 and -4, and -5 and -16, and they're connected. Well, there's got to be an equation for that line. So let's figure it out without graphing. You could go and graph it, connect the points, draw the line, and find the slope and the y-intercept. But I don't need to do that. Instead, I'm going to find the slope, I'll call it m, by using a formula we've learned in class, our delta y over delta x. Let's find the change in y over the change in x. So in this case, we're going to take the numbers and subtract them. So here's x and here's y on one point, and here's x and here's y on another point. So I'm going to call this first point x, sub 1, y sub 1, and this will be x sub 2, y sub 2. Just basically indicating here's the first point, here's the second point. And the change in the y's comes from subtracting the values. If my y values are here at -4 and -16, I'm going to subtract them. And generally we kind of go backwards when we do this. Doesn't actually matter though. I'm going to take -16 and I'm going to subtract -4. Then to find the change in the x's, I'll do the same process, but I'll focus in on the x numbers and I'll go in the same order. So I'm going to take -5 and I'm going to subtract 1. And then I'm going to try and clean this up. So a minus is really a positive plus. So we have -16 plus 4 over -5 minus 1, which is -6. And -16 plus 4 is -12 over -6. And then 12 divided by 6 is 2, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So there we go. We get 2 for our slope. Kind of a nice run-on sentence there, but you see what I'm doing. Then I need to figure out, well, what's b equal? That's my other question. But to figure that out, I got to go to old things that I know. I need to write the equation of the line with what I got. So here's y equals mx plus b. I'm going to fill in 2 for the m because we just did all the math and figured that out. So now I know it's y equals 2x plus b. Well, remember what we do for these problems when we don't know the b? We take the x and the y number and we substitute them in. I'm going to substitute an x number in and a y number in. And I can choose. I can use the 1 and the -4 and use that to figure it out. Or if I'd rather, I could use the -5 and the -16. Both sets of numbers are going to give you the same value. So pick whatever one's easier for you, I guess. I'm going to do the 1 and the -4, smaller numbers. I'm going to put the 1 in for x and the -4 in for y. So -4 equals 2 times x, so 2 times 1, plus b. All right, now it's easy. Now I know how to solve this thing. So 2 times 1 is 2. -4 equals 2 plus b. I'm going to move the 2 over and subtract it. -4 minus 2 is -6 equals b. And then don't fall into that mistake of saying, oh, I'm all done, I did all my math, circle it, there's my answer. Don't forget the actual question. Once you figure out b, go back up and make sure you answered the question. Write an equation of a line. So we need a y equals mx plus b answer. So now I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. I'm going to fill the m in with 2 because 2 is my slope. And I'm going to substitute in for b with a -6. So y equals 2x minus 6. That's the equation of my line. So like I said, these ones take the most work, so therefore they're the most fun, but you have to do all the calculations to find your slope because it's not given to you as a fact. So why don't you try one, because this is the type of problem you really want to get down well. Here it is. Write an equation for a line passing through the points 6, 0, and -3, 3. Pause the video and do it yourself before going through it with me. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with slope using our formula, delta y over delta x. Change in y over the change in x's. Notice this is an x1, y1 value here, and this is an x2, y2 value here. I have a set of xy and another coordinate point, xy. So change in y's, I'm going to be subtracting these values. Kind of easy numbers actually. 3 minus 0, that's not bad. And then delta x's, I'm going to be subtracting those values. So we got negative 3 minus 6, which is 3 on top and negative 9 on bottom. And 3 negative ninths can reduce down. That can reduce down to 1/3, a negative 1/3. But I can't really do more with it past that. I can make it a decimal, but in the equation world with lines, we don't really want a decimal. It's not going to help us that much. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Just like that. And my negative sign, although it was with the 9, you technically with a fraction can put the negative wherever you kind of want. Like, I mean, it can be down with the 3, up with the 1, or kind of just out in front of the whole fraction. Kind of all means the same thing. So I'm going to say my slope is negative 1/3. And then I'm going to write my equation. Y equals negative 1/3 x, because that's my slope, plus b. I don't know my y-intercept. So let's substitute some values in and figure it out. Either use the 6 and the 0, or use the negative 3 and the 3. It totally doesn't matter. 6 and 0 might be easy. Let's give it a try. So 6 goes in for the x, that's going to go in here. And 0 goes in for the y, so that's going to go in there. And we're going to have 0 equals negative 1/3 x, so negative 1/3 times 6 plus b. And this is going to come down to, do you know how to deal with your fractions? So let's kind of go through it and go through trouble. Negative 1/3 times 6, there's lots of ways you can do this, but we'll go through the lengthy way. You do the top numbers. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6 over 3 plus b. Then fractions mean divide, so we're going to do 6 divided by 3, which is negative 2 plus b. So 0 equals negative 2 plus b. And then we'll just add that 2 over, move it to the other side. 0 plus 2 is 2, so 2 equals b. An actual pretty nice answer, actually. So there's my y-intercept. Here's my slope up here. Let's write y equals mx plus b and be done. So your m was negative 1/3, and your b was 2. So we have y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. And that is your equation of the line. Hopefully that helps you kind of get the process down a little bit of how to solve for an equation of a line. There's lots of different scenarios. This is one of those ones where you get 2 points. But you might be doing a problem where they give you 1 point and 1 slope. So you really got to be able to do all those different situations. So we'll work on it more in class, but hopefully this video was helpful to you.